I am pumped about the upcoming Sims 4 For Rent expansion pack. I love building shared living spaces, which this pack looks perfect for. To tide us over till then and show our elder Sims some love, here's my Rose Gold Years retirement community. First, let me introduce you to our residents. Lyn and Skye are cousins / best friends who are retired influencer girlies. Esteban and Teo are our old gays who are a retired sommelier and author respectively. Aspen and Beau are platonic buds who are all about living an eco-friendly life. And Tanya and Trey are the retired power couple who throw the best dinner parties. I love the idea of communal living, yet haven't seen many of these spaces in The Sims. There's also perpetually a lack of elder-focused Sims content, and I want to counteract that. So I created a bunch of fun, interesting, old millennial-inspired elderly Sims and a retirement community for them all to live in. There are 4 tiny homes here with 2 Sims living in each. The back is a big community building with a bunch of shared spaces they can all use. Shared tiny homes just seemed right because of how things have been going for our generations from millennials onward. Most of us are definitely not going to be affording our own retirement homes. On a lighter note, communal living is also quite positive for mental health and well-being in general, which can become especially important for people later in life. This first house is for our influencers Lyn and Skye. They're cousins who are practically inseparable. Their relationship is so close, people often mistake them for twins. Lyn was a fitness and wellness influencer, while Skye was a lifestyle blogger and photographer. I tried to go for a very insta-girly vibe for their home. Lots of light wood, warm whites, soft pinks and purples, and plenty of twinkly string lights. These two remind me a bit of my sister and cousin, their relationship mostly, not really the influencer aspects. Anytime my family would get together, the two of them were constantly hanging out and giggling together. People always mistook them for sisters, yet never thought my sister and I were even related. Skye and Lyn definitely give me those vibes. The next house over is Esteban and Teo's. Esteban was a former sommelier and Teo was an author. They're both snobs, but they're still quite nice and friendly. I imagine they love throwing little porch gatherings where they do wine tastings and share appetizers with their neighbors. There's probably a bit of a dinner party rivalry between them and the other old married couple across the street, but it's just in good fun and they're all definitely friends. The aesthetic of their home is much more masculine and moody than the previous house. I made sure to include a nectar shelf for Esteban's wine collection and a desk for Teo to write at. I don't have the horse pack, so the wine storage is just decorative, unfortunately. I really wish you could at least grab a glass of nectar from this item. This orange house has the same layout as the blue one we were just in and belongs to Aspen and Beau. Aspen is a retired civil designer and Beau is a retired conservationist. I'm thinking since they were both into eco-friendly fields, they probably met through work and became fast friends who decided to retire together. Aspen is more into the upcycling and fabrication side of things, where Beau is more of the outdoorsy hippie type. Their home also has a lot of dark woods like the previous house, but it's more colorful and cozy. I imagine a lot of the items here are stuff the two of them crafted themselves or thrifted over the years. They're also probably the ones who led the initiatives to add all the green energy and water collection items used by the community. This last tiny home belongs to Tanya and Trey, our other married couple. It has the same floor plan as Lyn and Skye's house, but it's decorated very differently. The color theme is mostly green, white, and black, with tons of plants everywhere. These two are a former power couple. Tanya was a successful businesswoman, while Trey was an influential politician. With their newfound freedom, Tanya has turned into a huge plant mom, and Trey has really gotten into cooking. Part of their old lifestyle they keep up here is throwing big dinner parties. They tend to go a bit too fancy with it, but everyone still enjoys them. Their home, along with Bow and Aspen's, are probably my two favorites out of all of them. Which of these tiny homes would you say is your favorite of the lot? Moving back to the community center, there's a bunch of spaces they all get to share in. This corner has a community garden. Tanya is the one who spends the most time here, though Beau probably keeps a few herbalism plants back here too. Next to the garden is a little work shed type thing for some extra hobby items. There's a juice fizzing station and a woodworking table in there. Moving inside, this is the medical room where a traveling nurse probably takes up space here once a week or so. I figured having easy access to medical services would be a good idea for a retirement community. The central room on the first floor of this space is dual purpose. The back side is the games area, and then the front half has a huge table so everyone can come together to eat and socialize. I love the succulent planter I sized up and put on the wall, but I found it interferes with some of the chairs. So if you download this lot, just replace it with something else. On the stair landing, there's a little reading and knitting nook. You'll notice some cat supplies scattered throughout the build. That's because I wanted them to have a pet cat, but didn't have room in the household, so I made this lot a cat hangout instead. So there should be a few cats who will hang around here that all the residents can take care of and spend time with. Upstairs, there's also a computer room and a gym. Their homes are small, so having shared spaces for this stuff makes sense, and it also helps get everyone out of the house and socializing, which is good for them. The last room downstairs is a big communal kitchen. All their homes have kitchenettes, which is fine day to day, but having access to a full kitchen would be nice for fancier meals and parties. Out on the patio here, there's a bar, which I'm sure Esteban loves tending during parties. Right next to the bar is a nice pool area. There's a hot tub, lap pool, some lounge chairs, and a picnic table. There actually isn't a grill out here, but that'd probably be a great thing to add in if you want. I built this years ago, so there are probably a few other quirks on this lot. Maybe I'll go through and do a thorough playtest and update when the 4 rent pack comes out, but I'm not making any promises. Here's the floor plan so you can get a better visual of the layout. Now let's take a look at this place in live mode and see our residents in action enjoying their golden years. Even though I built this place so long ago, it was still super fun revisiting these Sims and this lot and getting to share this unique build with you all. Elders do not get enough love in The Sims, but can have such fun, interesting stories to play through, so I hope to have inspired y'all to play with some elderly Sims. I also love the concept of communal living spaces and don't see enough of them in this game. So if you like this too and want to see more, let me know. I actually have a few others that I've built already that I can make videos on, like my adult dorms and drag queen motel, but if you have ideas for new builds, leave me a comment. I would love to hear them. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to click the like button. Remember, be kind to yourself today, and I'll see you next time.